Now, let's get to the No Half Step in Hockey coverage. It's time for operation number 691 for the Renegades of Puck. That is right. It's time for show number 691 for the Renegades of Puck. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 6th place in the Central Division. 31 games played. They have a record of 14-13-4, one game back over 500. 32 points has them, 12 points out of first place behind the Dallas Stars, 11 points behind the second place Winnipeg Jets, 8 points behind the third place Minnesota Wild, and 6 points behind the Nashville Predators' next opponent, the Colorado Avalanche. The Avalanche have a record of 18-11-2 after 31 games played. Those 38 points have them 6 points ahead of the Nashville Predators. The Avalanche are 5 points ahead of St. Louis, and then the Predators are at 32 points right there. The bottom of the division is Arizona and Chicago. So this is the battle of 4th place and 6th place in the Central Division. It will take place at Bridgestone Arena, where the Nashville Predators have a record of 8-5-2 on the road. The Colorado Avalanche have a record of 9-6-0. Now, when it comes to scoring, the goal differential between these two teams is not as wide as you might normally think when it comes to the Colorado Avalanche and their high-powered offense. 93 goals on the season is good, but it is by no means anywhere near the top of the Central Division. As a matter of fact, it ranks 5th in the Central Division in goals for. They've given up 82 against. They are still plus 11 in goal differential. So this Colorado Avalanche team is a substantially better defensive team than they are offensive team this year. Finding different ways to win is truly the make of a championship team. They've already won one, and right now they are currently in 4th place, which would be a playoff spot. So the Nashville Predators have scored 80 goals on the season, 13 less than the Colorado Avalanche, while they have given up 13 more on the season. They've given up 95, goal differential of minus 15 on the year. These two teams have already met 2 times. This would have been the 4th and final meeting of the regular season between these two Central Division rivals, but because of the water main break reschedule, one of the games, the game that is still to come in this series after Game 3, will not take place until April the 14th. Originally, the season would have been over by that point, but the reschedule takes this game all the way to April the 14th. Now, they've played 2 times before this. Go all the way back to November the 10th. Nashville Predators fell in Denver, Colorado, 5-3. Rantanen terrorized the Preds for 2 goals and assists, 3 total points. O'Connor had 2 goals as well. Tolvanen, Johansson, and Yossi were your goal scorers for the Nashville Predators. Well, at least one of those won't be scoring for the Preds again. Lankinen was 30 out of 35, took the loss for the Nashville Predators. They met again on the 17th of December. That's pretty fresh in your mind. It was a 3-1 victory by Colorado in Colorado. Rantanen with another goal against the Nashville Predators. Newhook scored a goal. Matt Duchene had the Nashville Predators' only goal in that game. UC Saros took the loss 27 out of 29, but he looked respectable. The Nashville Predators and the Colorado Avalanche again will not meet again until April the 14th. That is the final game of the regular season for the Nashville Predators. So the Preds are 0-4 on points against the Colorado Avalanche. They've been outscored 8-4 in the season series at this point. Once the Preds wrap up this game against the Colorado Avalanche, it will be time for the Christmas break. They will not play again until Tuesday, when they will welcome in the 1st place in the Central Division Dallas Stars, then back out on the road immediately December the 30th at Anaheim. Follow that up the next night on New Year's Eve in Vegas against the Golden Knights. That will wrap up the 2022 schedule for the calendar year for the Nashville Predators, starting 2023 on the 3rd of January versus the Montreal Canadiens at Bridgestone Arena, and then on the 5th heading out on the road in Carolina to take on the Hurricanes. Now, for the Nashville Predators taking on the Colorado Avalanche, we'll take a look inside the rankings and how they match up. But first, let's take a look back at the most recent stretch of action for the Colorado Avalanche, the most recent 5 games. On December the 13th, with a 3-2 victory versus the Philadelphia Flyers. On the 15th, a 4-2 loss versus the Buffalo Sabres. On the 17th, a 3-1 win versus these Nashville Predators. On the 19th of December, a 1-0 shootout win versus the New York Islanders. And on the 21st of December, a 2-1 overtime win versus the Montreal Canadiens. The only loss in the last 5 was against the Buffalo Sabres, and the Buffalo Sabres are a much better team than you might be thinking. You should probably watch a little bit more Eastern Conference hockey. Maybe we all should. NHL ranks between these two teams. It might be quite surprising to find out some of the more impressive metrics for the Colorado Avalanche this season are on the defensive side of things. And I'll start by telling you that their goals for is much lower than anticipated and expected. 2.90 on the season is 25th in the NHL. It is just ahead of the Nashville Predators at 2.52, which is rated 29th in the NHL. Now, goals against, this is where things start to really stand out. 6th best in the NHL. The Colorado Avalanche are only giving up 2.61 goals against, per game, while the Nashville Predators are giving up 30.03 per game. That is 16th overall in the league. Shots on net, generating 33.2 per game. That is 7th best in the NHL for Colorado, while the Preds are generating 30.1 on net per game. That is 21st best in the NHL. In the shots against category, the Preds are giving up 27th overall in the league, 33.3 against their own net, while Colorado is giving up 31.7 against. That's 16th best in the NHL. Now, with such high skill individuals and forwards and defensemen and everyone on the Colorado Avalanche, it's no surprise to see that their power play is ranked 5th overall in the NHL. They've converted 29 out of 105 times. 27.6% is their conversion rate, while the Nashville Predators are quite the opposite. 29th in the NHL. That's 3 spots from the very bottom. They've only converted 17 out of 108 opportunities. That makes 15.7%. And on the penalty kill, the Nashville Predators rated 21st in the NHL, 76.9%, 25 power play goals against. The Colorado Avalanche have the 19th best power play overall in the NHL. They have given up 23 power play goals against. For the Nashville Predators, Borowiecki, the only player listed on injured reserve at this time. So the Nashville Predators were hemorrhaging when it came to the defense core, and now getting a lot of bodies back in the lineup, and the defense core playing much more elevated hockey as of late. This is tremendous news for the Nashville Predators, for Mark Borowiecki. I sure hope he can get back in the lineup. I'm just not sure that we're going to see him back in the lineup with the significant issues that he has developed over the last couple of years with injuries, and it's been quite some time since we've even heard an update on him. But Mark Borowiecki, the only player for the Nashville Predators listed on the injured list at this time. Individual stats on these two clubs, compare and contrast, there's really no way. Even with the Colorado Avalanche having an offensively depressed season for them, it's an offensively depressed season. Still, they would have 3 players that would be leading the Nashville Predators in scoring. So let's go down the list. Rantanen, who always terrorizes the Nashville Predators, 22 goals on the season. Very impressive number. 18 assists, 40 overall points. He is a well-balanced player, and he often feasts against the Nashville Predators, just like this next guy, McKinnon. 8 and 26 for 34. Makar, 7 and 22 for 29 out there on the blue line. Lehkonen, 9 goals, 13 assists for 22 points on the season. And Taves, 2 and 16 for 18 points. Another defenseman there in the top 5 scoring for the Avs. Georgiev in net, 14, 6 and 2 in his first season as a Colorado Avalanche starting goaltender. 924 save percentage, 2.39 goals against average. And so far, absolutely standing up to the test of moving from backup goaltender with the New York Rangers to starting goaltender with the Colorado Avalanche. One of the reasons they've been so good defensively is because of his incredibly solid play. There are a number of incredibly talented young goaltenders in the NHL right now. This game will feature 2 of them in Georgiev and UC Saros. Let's just start with UC Saros since we're talking goaltenders. His record's 11, 9, and 4, a save percentage of 913, and a goals against average of 281. Those numbers are all looking significantly more impressive than they were. For a stretch of time there, UC Saros had save percentage well down in the 8s, goals against well over 3, and the record now looking better and better, 11, 9, and 4. That is a good stat line for the starting netminder of the Nashville Predators. Remember, they only have 14 victories on the season. The starting goaltender for the Preds has 11 of those. Now, the leading scorers for the Nashville Predators, Forsberg's got 9 goals and 16 assists for 25 points. Matt Duchene has 9 goals and 16 assists for 25 points. Remember, that's something they did a lot last year. They mirrored each other in statistics throughout much of the year. You would like to see a significant bump in the upward transition of these statistics, but right now, 25 points apiece for them. And Roman Josi also with 25 points, 7 goals, 18 assists. Mikhail Granlund, 4 goals and 16 assists for 20 points. And Ryan Johansson, 8 goals and 19 assists for 17 points. Nino Niederreiter, just mentioned him, 11 goals on the season. That leads the team in total goals. That gets you all set up for the Nashville Predators and the Colorado Avalanche. Fresh in your minds, the Preds just played the Avs and dropped one to them back on the 17th. They'll have another opportunity right here. It's the third of 4 meetings on regular season between these Central Division rivals. The Preds now losing 6 in a row to the Colorado Avalanche. They need to turn things around and keep the momentum going of this recent 2-game winning streak. We'll break that down. We'll talk about it more, and we'll get the Renegades of Puck in the Trenches coming up next.